Throughout the dawn of the early 1990s, questions have arisen of how Dragon Ball Z could get better, but something has made me snap. As I screamed to the skies, the heaven above opened up and gave me the answers that I was so desperately looking for.
He keeps kicking me in the dick. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick?
Let's have some blabber.
I'm just going to address the dynamic in the room. Dragon Ball Z is far superior than Dragon Ball Kai. But it's like when you mention that, people just lose their minds. The biggest takeaway from this is that you can love whichever version you want. Akira Toriyama gave us Dragon Ball Z, and whether you like Super, Kai, Z, it's all going to be the same for the love of Dragon Ball that Akira Toriyama gave us. But the biggest discrepancies that people are having, and even I have to say, is between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Kai. What are these big discrepancies that has divided the fan base for this beloved franchise that has been around for over 30 years? Well, go ahead and pop the squad. Mr. Sinister's going to tell you. Growing up in the 90s, Dragon Ball Z was violent. It was dark. It was gritty. It was nasty. There's a lot of scenes we're going to get into, but look at Dragon Ball Z. You know, the original one, which was my favorite, it was bloody. Raditz just, bam, Goku was bleeding all over the place. That was a kid. That was great. And don't get me wrong, now Kai, it had to be more family friendly, but you knew what you were missing. Now, when you look at the two images here, Goku on the left in Dragon Ball Z, compared to Vegeta on the right, Dragon Ball Z Kai. I will absolutely admit, Dragon Ball Z Kai, with the changes in technology, wanted to make it a more faithful adaptation to what Akira Toriyama wanted. And you know what? If this is what the man wanted, I'm not ever going to change that. Vegeta and Dragon Ball Z Kai does look crisp. It does look clean. It looks very good. But me being the stubborn old man that I am, I just can't deny the classics. I cannot deny that what I grew up on will always be my favorite. Goku still looks phenomenal, and he always will. When you look at what Kai brought to the table, how can you deny the beautiful aspect that the way this looks? And let's face it, this all comes down to personal preference and even your own biases, which everyone is absolutely allowed to have. But for me, the visuals are just not enough to give me what I wanted growing up. And that's just the way I always loved it. Seeing these characters, their understandings of where they came from, Vegeta's backstory was just incredible. But then, when you look at the comparison to Kai, it was different. When we look here at Season 1, we could see the visuals and the aspect and even the dark undertone. But look what happens when they did with the Cell Saga.
So you're Goku.
And I take it you're Cell.
It's Goku.
I gotta say, you're every bit the monster I expected you to be.
What the fuck?
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the
What was that? What was that? You can clearly tell which one was Z and which one was Kai, but Jesus Christ. Talk about a massive tone down. Oh my God. These are going to be some of the biggest differences that have divided the fan base from Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Z Kai. Dragon Ball Kai enhanced a lot of the imagery, changed the aspect ratios, and gave us a much clearer, crisper picture when you're watching it on the TV. Who would want to see that? But Dragon Ball Z, compared to Kai, they took out a lot of the blood, a lot of the violence, and for me, it took out a lot of the heart of the video. It took me out of the episodes, and it was hard. But Dragon Ball Z, even for me growing up, there were some things that were just plain horrific, but I loved them. Here's another example. Ah, yes, Imperfect Cell. The Cell Saga was arguably my favorite. But if you know this scene, you know what happens next. Now that Piccolo has his new power, he is finally going on to take on Cell, but he has no idea who he is yet, and we are getting our first introduction of him. But there's going to be some great differences because obviously this is the Kai version.
Last, the creature terrorizing Ginger Town reveals itself.
That was Dragon Ball Kai. Here's Z.
You gotta help me, please! Help me! What am I sensing from that thing? Here, take this, and there's more where that came from!
That man is pleading for his dear life because everyone in Gingertown has been getting absorbed. You want to guess how much of that was shown in Kai? None. How could you take that out of Dragon Ball Z? How dare you? Watching this as a child, this was a horror movie. A man pleading for his life, getting harpooned like a frickin' whale, and then absorbed in the most violent way possible. It was great. If some of you have picked up on it already, the biggest difference between Z and Kai for me is without a doubt the score. The score is perfect.
Tell them to stop it!
I get goosebumps just sitting here listening to the score of the phenomenal Bruce Faulconer. It was shape-shifting and monumental. It gives me goosebumps still to this day listening to his work. And even when I'm at the gym, who can deny it? It made everything better.
That's the way. Let us all go.
When you heard the piano, you knew shit was about to go down in the best way possible. Bruce's work was so intense, it brought chills to everyone that was watching the show through some of the best scenes possible. Even with Vegeta's, who will always be my favorite. Let me know in the comment section below. Who was your favorite character from Dragon Ball Z, Kai, Super? What was your overall favorite in general? Dragon Ball Z will always be my favorite version of anime ever. Let me know what yours is. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, until we meet again.